If you enjoy different bracelet types, you'll find this idea awesome and crazy. Here it is, a brand new bead bracelet design, the Diamond Daisy. The Diamond Daisy bead bracelet is a unique design and shares a similar look of other creations, and that's fine. Its solid design is complex but simple to make. It's just for you and fun to create. So get ready for a tutorial that'll hopefully satisfy your creative needs. Let's be sure to give this video a like and enjoy this episode of TurboBeads. Here's a list of everything you need to make the Diamond Daisy bead bracelet. When making this bracelet, the first thing we'll need to do is to create bead flowers. So to make the bead flowers, we'll take no less than 6 inches of string, match up the ends, and we'll add a white bead on each end of the strings. With those beads on the string, we'll go ahead and let those beads fall to the bottom. Now, let's take a single yellow bead and add it to both ends of the string, just like this. With that yellow bead on both strings, you'll go ahead and let that bead fall to the bottom as well with the other beads. Once again, we'll add one white bead on each end of the string, just like this. With those beads on the string, feel free to push the beads towards each other to ensure that they stay in a tight formation. From this point, we'll take both ends of string and tie them together with a square knot to keep everything locked in place. When tying your string together, be sure that your knot is solid and secure to ensure that everything stays together. As you can see, that tying the knot should be pretty simple. Now that the string is tied and those beads are all locked in place, you'll have 2 ends of string to use of equal lengths. Let's take one end of the string and run it back through the white bead here on the end, getting that string through that bead, pulling the string all the way through, and this will set us up for filling in the open space with a bead. Now we'll take one white bead and add it to the string. As you can see, white will be the main color of this flower. When you have that bead on the string, you'll run that string to the next white bead, pulling the string all the way through, and that bead that was added to the string will fit right into place, filling in the gap. Now you will see that the string is coming out of the bead here on this end. Let's go to the other side using the other end of string and run that string to the closest bead here on the bottom end. When you get that string through the bead, you'll pull the string all the way through, setting us up for adding another bead to the spot. Let's go ahead and add one bead to the string. When you have that bead on the string, we're going to run that string to the next bead here on the end. Watch closely as I guide the string through this bead, pulling the string all the way through until that bead that was added to the string fits right into place, filling in the gap. Now that we have each end of string coming out of the same side on the pattern, we'll take both ends of string, tie them together with a square knot, locking everything into place. Remember, when tying your knot, be sure that your knot is tied nice and secure to ensure that everything stays together. Once your knot is tied and everything is securely locked in place, you'll now carefully cut off the tied loose ends of string and you've completed a bead flower. As you can see, this is exactly how a bead flower should look. From this point, we'll need to create 5 more of these bead flowers. That's a total of 6 flowers. As you see here, I've created 6 bead flowers of different colors, which I think is perfect for this bracelet design. Feel free to let me know what colors you decide to use. From this point, we'll need to link these flowers together, so check this out. You'll take 3 feet of string that has some stretch or flexibility to it, and run that string through the flower. First, let's run the string through the bead here at the top of the flower. When you get that string all the way through that bead, we're going to match up each end of string, pushing the flower toward the center of the string. This will ensure that we have the same amount of string to use on both sides. Now that the bead flower is in the center of the string, let's continue running the string through the flower. Take one end of the string and run it through the bead here on the end with the string going in this direction. When you get that string through that bead and pull the string all the way through, the string will be on the outside of the flower, just like this. Now let's take the other end of string and run it through the bead here on this end with the string going in this direction. Again, you will see the string will be on the outside of the flower when pulled all the way through. With the string in this position, we can now take one end of the string as you see here and run it through the bead on the lower row, with the string going in the direction toward the inside of the flower. Watch closely as I guide the string through this bead, pulling the string all the way through, setting us up for the next step. Now that the string is coming out of this bead on this row, we will run the string through the bead here at the bottom, running that string in the same direction. Watch closely and you will see the direction I'm running the string in. When you pull the string all the way through, the string will be hidden inside of the beads, as you see here. With one end of the string through the bottom bead, we'll need to do the same with the other. Take the other end of string and run it through the bead on the lower row, with the string going in the direction toward the inside of the flower. Once you pull that string all the way through that bead, the string will be all set for the next step. Using the same end of string, continue going in the same direction, running the string through the bead at the bottom. Again, watching closely as I guide the string through this bead, pulling the string all the way through. Once you pull the string all the way through, you'll see that the string is hidden inside of the flower, and you should have string coming out of both ends of the bead. We will use these strings to create the diamond shapes and link everything together. Take one end of string and we're going to add 3 green beads to the string. Now that we have those beads on the string, we're going to go ahead and run those toward the top. Now we'll take our other end of string and again we're going to add 3 beads to that end of the string. With those beads on that string, we'll run those beads to the top as well. Now we'll take one end of the string and a bead flower and run that string through that bead on top. Then you'll take your other end of string and run it to that bead as well, going in the opposite direction. Watch closely as I guide the string through this bead. Once you have both ends of string through this bead, you'll pull both ends of string until you've reached the top, bringing all of the beads together. When pulling the string, be sure to pull it just enough to keep those beads in a tight formation. As you will see, those green beads will be in the shape of a diamond. With the string coming out of this bead, we'll continue running the string through the flower in order to reach the next point. Take one end of the string and run it through the bead here on the end, with the string going in this direction. Once you get that string through that bead and pull the string all the way through, the string will be on the outside of the flower. Now run the string through the bead on the lower row with the string going in this direction toward the inside of the flower. Then run the string through the bead on the bottom going in the same direction, pulling the string all the way through to keep that string hidden. Now that we have one end of string all the way through the flower, we're going to need to do the same with the other end of string. Take the other end of string and run it through the bead here on the end with the string going in the direction outside of the flower. Pull the string all the way through and of course you'll see that the string is on the outside. You'll take that string and run it through the bead below it on the lower row with the string going in the direction toward the flower. Remember to pull your string all the way through. Now that the string is coming out of this bead, we can now run the string through the bottom bead, running it in the same direction. Watch closely as I guide the string through this bead, pulling the string all the way through, keeping all of that string hidden. Now that we have each end of string coming out of both ends of the bead, we'll once again have 2 ends of string to use to add another section. Let's run through the steps once again on creating another section. We'll add 3 beads to one end of the string and run those beads toward the top, adding 3 beads to the other end of string and running those to the top as well. Then taking a bead flower and running one end of the string through the top bead. Remember, once you get that string through that bead, you'll take your other end of string and run it through that bead as well, going in the opposite direction. Now that you have both ends of string through that bead, you'll pull both ends of string until you've reached the top, bringing all of those beads together. Don't forget, when pulling the string, be sure to keep the string pulled just enough to keep those beads in a tight formation. And as we've done before, you'll run the string through the flower with both ends of string coming out of the bottom bead. Again, watch closely and you will see the path that I'm using when running the string through these beads. This should be a pretty clear visual reference on making it easier to understand. You may also want to take your time to make sure that the string is all the way through the correct beads to ensure that the string stays hidden within the beads and the bracelet turns out correctly. As you can see, this is exactly how it's done. Remember, once you have one end of the string through the bead on the bottom, you'll need to do the same with the other end of string as well. Again, continue watching as I guide the string through these beads. As you might already know, that this will be the path that we use every time when running the string through the flowers. Remember, that's both ends of string through the bead on the bottom. Once you have both ends of string through the bead on the bottom, you'll have 2 ends of string to use and are able to create more sections of this bracelet. So just continue repeating the previous steps and keep creating additional sections for this bracelet. As you will see, this bracelet should be pretty easy to make, with its simple steps of running the string through the bead flowers and adding beads in between the flowers to create the diamond shapes that link everything together. As I should also mention that this bracelet should look pretty familiar with its inspired design from the Bead Flower Cuff and the Diamond DnA Bracelet, as it borrows elements from each. Leave a comment below and let me know which of the 3 bracelet types you like the most. Remember to be sure to pull the string just enough to keep those beads in a tight formation, as you'll want the beads in between the flowers to remain in the shape of the diamond. As a heads up, the choice of string you decide to use may affect the bracelet when worn. I'm using a round plastic lace that has a bit of stretch to it, which is perfect for retaining the desired shape. Once you've added the 6th and final flower to the string, you're almost ready to connect the other side. You'll need to add 3 beads on each end of the string. This is how it should look before connecting it all together. As you can see here, and as mentioned before, we should have 3 beads on the end of each string. Now, to link everything together, you'll take one end of the string and run it through the top of the first flower. That's the purple bead here at the top of this bracelet. So watch closely as I guide the string through this bead. When you get that string through that bead and pull the string all the way through, this will bring both sides of the bracelet closer together. Now you'll take both ends of string and tie them together with a square knot. This will bring the 2 ends of string together, also forcing the beads in the shape of a diamond. When tying your string together, be sure that your knot is tied tight and secure to ensure that the bracelet stays together. With the knot tied securely, all that is left is to carefully cut off the tied loose ends of string, and your Diamond Daisy bead bracelet is now complete. And there you have it, another fine bead bracelet design that's unique and fun to make. Hopefully this tutorial was helpful and you can create one just as great. If there's anything you'd like to add, requests or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment below. And if you are new, or you just haven't already, don't forget you can always subscribe if you want to be notified for more bead tutorials just like this one. Hoping you'll tune in for the next one to satisfy your creative needs. Until next time, wear it and share it. Thanks for watching TurboBeads.